Chief Justice Luke Malaba stepped down during Mnangagwa and the ZANU PF constitutional backlash. Kusangana kwa taita zvakare pana pa YouTube channel yenyu yeMagaba News patinobata nhau dzinenge dzichitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe tichitika na pane vachangosvika pano pa Magaba News. Kindly support us by hitting the subscribe button nekutena notification bell. Today musi wesvondo unova uri musi wa 10 May 2026 watiri kubata nawo dziri kuziviswa kuruzhinji kunzi pasara 4 days kuti Chief Justice Luke Malaba vanova vanoona nhau dzekuconcort vosvika nguva yavo yekuti vachiritaya. Inova iri nhau iri kutenderedzwa zuva ranhasi muruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe apo pachinzi vari kuritaya musi wa 14 April 2026 ndipo pavari kubuda muofisi. Apa takatarisana kuti musi wa 16 May 2026 ndipo pari kufesa vaMnangagwa pamwe chete nevezanu PF achiitiko chekuConcourt achiri kutenderedzwa chichiziviswa. So nhau iyi yauya ichibatiswa chinzi nekusapota kwavaiita nekutsigira kwavaiita ZANU PF kubvira nguva the late Morgan Tsvangirai kukauya triple C yava advocate Nelson Chamisa. Vanhu vese vemaopposition vaiziva kuti vakaendesa nhau dzekuti maelection abirirwa kuConcourt vaMalaba vaizosiya divi rave kufevhera ZANU PF. So chiitiko chese ichi chaita kuti veruzhinji vataura vachiti haiko zvino anogadzwa apa ndavatogadzwa vakatarisisa sezvo vanhu vari kuti hatichade munhu anofevhera one side, tinoda kuti mutongo utongwe semutongo. According to news, a retirement of Luke Malaba is being viewed by many Zimbabweans as the closed chapter of one of the most debated period in the country's judicial history. After years at the center of major constitutional and political dispute, Malaba is now officially stepped down from the bench of May 14, 2026, ending a tenure that triggered both praise and criticism across the country. His final sitting at the Constitutional Court in Harare is expected to attract senior judges, government officials, lawyers, and representatives from various state institutions. The Judicial Service Commission has also planned a farewell event to mark the end of his time as Chief Justice. Supporters within ZANU PF says Malaba brought stability to the judiciary during difficult political periods and helped modernize parts of the court system. They urge that his leadership ensure continuity during a moment of national tension and political uncertainty. However, critics from opposition parties, civil society groups, and section of the legal profession see his time in office very differently for them. Malaba's tenure became a symbol of growing concern about political influence within Zimbabwe's court and the weakening of judicial independence. Much of the controversy surrounding Malaba's intensified in 2021 after the government introduced Constitutional Amendment Number 2. The amendment allowed judges of the Constitutional Court and the Supreme Court to continue serving beyond the retirement age of 70 if granted extension by the President. When Malaba turned 70 in May 2021, President Emmerson Mnangagwa immediately extended his term until 2026. The decision quickly sparked heated national debate. At one point, 3 High Court judges ruled that Malaba has officially ceased to be Chief Justice after reaching retirement age, urging that the constitutional amendment could not be applied retrospectively. The ruling was welcomed by government critics who view it as an important sign of judicial independence. But the matter took another dramatic turn when Constitutional Court later overturned that ruling, Because Malaba was still leading the Constitutional Court at the time, critics accused the judicial of protecting its own leadership and raised concern about possible conflicts of interest. That legal battle became one of the most talked about constitutional dispute in recent Zimbabwean history. It also deepened wider public debate about the leadership relationship between the executive and the judicial under the current administration. Throughout his years in office, Malaba often found himself linked to the political sensitivity court decision. Opposition figures and governments repeatedly claimed that some judgment appeared to favor the ruling established, while critics of the government faced the increasing legal pressure. Among the most controversial moments during the period was the court ruling involving the opposition MDC leadership succession dispute following the death of Morgan Tsvangirai. That judgment reshaped the opposition politics in Zimbabwe and remain heavily debated today. Concerns were also raised over the handling of cases involving opposition activists, delaying in politically sensitivity hearing, and allegations that independent-minded judges faced the increasing pressure within the judicial system. The debate also, Malaba's legacy also reflects Zimbabwe's longer political history. Since independence in 1980, relations between the government and the judiciary have often faced a period of tensions, especially during major political and economic crises. During the era of former President Robert Mugabe, disputes over the land reforms and election placed the court under intense political pressure. Over time, critics urged that some judges who were sent as independent either left the bench or become marginalized. Under Mnangagwa's administration, critics say concern about institutional independence increased further after the 2017 political transition that removed Mugabe from power. Questions around judicial appointment, constitutional amendments, and the rule of state institutions continued to dominate national discussion. The Judicial Service Commission has also faced the scrutiny from some legal analysts who accuse it of failing to fully protect judicial independence. Others, however, maintain that Zimbabwe's court has continued to operate within the frameworks of the constitution despite political pressure. As Malaba prepares to leave office, attention is now shifting towards who will become the next chief justice and whether the judiciary can rebuild broader public confidence. For many Zimbabweans, the central question is no longer only about the one individual. Large debate now focuses on the future constitutional governance and the separation of power and whether Zimbabwe's court can maintain independence in an increasingly polarized political environment. With Malaba departures marking the end of a significant era, the country now enters another important chapter in the continuing conversation about judicial justice, accountability, and the roles of the court in Zimbabwean democracy. Ndizo dzatete kabata pano pa YouTube channel yenyu yaMagaba News. Munoti chine kuretire kwa Chief Justice Luke Malaba, final retirement, Zimbabweans wait to see who take over the bench. Muri Zimbabwe ndizvo zviri kutaurika ndo nhau dzatete kabata. Totendai nekutsigira kwa maita Magaba News.